ಆಂಗ್ಲ ಪ್ರವಚನ ಪ್ರಸಿದ್ಧರಾಗಿರ್ತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಸುಂದರ್ ಮಡಕ್ಷಿರ ಅವರು IT ಕಂಪನಿಯಲ್ಲಿ CEO ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಕಳೆದ 28 ವರ್ಷಗಳಿಂದಲೂ ಕೂಡ ಅವರು ಅದೇ ಫೀಲ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅನೇಕ ದೊಡ್ಡ ದೊಡ್ಡ ಕಂಪನಿ, ಇನ್ಫೋಸಿಸ್, ವಿಪ್ರೋ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿ ಕಂಪನಿಗಳಲ್ಲಿ ಕಾರ್ಯನಿರ್ವಹಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಪ್ರಧಾನಮಂತ್ರಿಗಳ ನ್ಯಾಷನಲ್ ಡಿಜಿಟಲ್ ಇನ್ನೋವೇಷನ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲಲ್ಲಿ ಸದಸ್ಯರಾಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಮತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಶ್ರೀಮಠದ ಶ್ರೀ ಮಧ್ವವಾದಿರಾಜ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟಿಟ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಟೆಕ್ನಾಲಜಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮ್ಯಾನೇಜ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಈ ಸಂಸ್ಥೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಗವರ್ನಿಂಗ್ ಕೌನ್ಸಿಲ್ ಮೆಂಬರ್ಗೂ ಆಗಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇವರು ಅನೇಕ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಚಾನಲ್, ವೆಂಕಟೇಶ್ವರ ಭಕ್ತಿ ಚಾನಲ್ ಇತ್ಯಾದಿ ಇಸ್ಕಾನ್ ಅವುಗಳ ಚಾನಲಲ್ಲಿಯೂ ಕೂಡ ವಿಶೇಷವಾಗಿ ಆಚಾರ್ಯರ ತತ್ವಗಳನ್ನು ಯುವಕರಿಗೆ ಮನಮುಟ್ಟುವಂತೆಯೇ ಪ್ರವಚನಾದಿಗಳನ್ನು ಸಣ್ಣ ಸಣ್ಣ ಕ್ಲಿಪ್ಸ್ಗಳ ಮೂಲಕ ತಿಳಿಸಿಕೊಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರು ಇವತ್ತು ನಮ್ಮ ಈ ವೇದಿಕೆಯಲ್ಲಿ ಯುನಿಕ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾದಿರಾಜರು ಎನ್ನುವಂತಹ ಆಂಗ್ಲ ಭಾಷೆಯ ಪ್ರವಚನವನ್ನು ನಡೆಸಿಕೊಡಲಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಅವರಿಗೆ ಸ್ವಾಗತ ಮತ್ತು ಅವರು ಪ್ರವಚನವನ್ನು ನಡೆಸಿಕೊಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಕೇಳಿಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ.
With the humble namaskارams to Shri Vadirajateertha Swamiji of Sode Vadiraj Math, I'm proposing a unique lecture because it's in English. I think many people are a little surprised that in a dharmika karikrama how can we have English? But just now we heard the lovely story of Jamakhandi Vadirajateertha, which is very rare. It's not easy to find such a detailed story about him. And one of the things, if you observed in the story, that the student here recited was that he had also composed something in English. So if something has to reach people beyond a certain language, I think English becomes a unifying factor. Now, all our Shastra Granthas are in Sanskrit. We all know that. But I think the first attempt to convert that or to translate that into another language was made by none other than Sri Vadirajateertha, who was the student of Sri Madhwacharya, when he first probably composed something which is available today in the Kannada language. The first Devarnama, it is attributed to him. And of course, it has come in a very long way that many gurus, many great people have found it necessary that we have to make the Madhwacharya available in the language that is understood by everybody. However, I must admit that since I am learning, it is not easy to translate anything from such a profound language, which is Sanskrit, into any other language. At least if you are translating something into Kannada or Telugu, it is easy, it is relatively easy. But you have to translate something to English, it becomes really difficult. But the reality is that in today's schools, colleges, in our daily lives, we use so much of English that English has become something that we all need to be able to communicate. And just because we don't have books in English today, the Madhva philosophy should not be constrained. It has to still reach every corner of the world. And if you see the greatness of our gurus, they have all made an attempt that Madhwacharya should reach everybody in a format that they can understand and assimilate. Once people get the taste of Madhwacharya, they will be able to learn. They are then prepared to learn Kannada, they are then prepared to learn Sanskrit, but only if you give them the incentive of what Madhwacharya actually gives them. So what Madhwacharya actually gives everybody is very clear. This is Srimad Anandatirtha Shastra. Our guru's name is Anandatirtha. So if you study Anandatirtha Shastra, what will you get? Ananda. It's right there. So we all have to be happy. So at the end of the Shastra, when we are listening to something on Madhwacharya, we all have to be happy. And that is why probably we have all traveled hundreds of kilometers, some even maybe further, to come to this unique place, which is the place of the Vrindavana, Pancha Vrindavana of Sri Vadirajateertha. So in the next 5 or 6 minutes, I will attempt to give you what is unique about Sri Vadirajateertha's approach to the Shastra Granthas. So the first one is, he always tries to constantly bring the connection between Shastra and our daily lives. ನೀವು ಯಾವುದೇ ವಾದಿರಾಜರ ಗ್ರಂಥ ಅಂತ ತೆಗೆದು ನೋಡಿ, the first thing he does is, every line that he talks about, he tries to bring in a unique connection between our daily lives. So that is the first message he is giving to everybody, especially the youth today. Because many of us think that today is Vadirajateertha, purva-aradhana, tomorrow is the Madhwacharya. So we'll come here, we'll all have a great time, we'll pray to them, and tomorrow Tuesday morning what will happen? We'll forget everything and go back to whatever we are doing. We'll go to our offices, we'll go to our colleges and forget the whole, our life is different. So this thing is just a small, interval between, like an interval in a movie. We are looking at our philosophical life. Vadirajateertha does not agree with that. Clearly he doesn't agree with that, because in every work, what he has tried to do is to bring a connection between what he is trying to describe as a Shastra and our daily lives. Now, all of us, let me give you one example probably that will make it clear. In Rukminisha Vijaya he says, there is a big debate, all of us know, that, God, Srimad Narayana does not have birth and he does not have death. So he is there forever and he has no destruction. That is why he is called Shashvata. That means he is always there in the same form. All of us are Nitya, but we are not Shashvata. Right? So he is Shashvata. So there is an argument, it is made by many people who say that why don't you admit that Lord Krishna was born? He was born to his parents. Why don't you admit it? What is wrong in that? So Vadirajateertha gives such a beautiful answer to this. He says, what happened when Lord Krishna was born? All of us have heard Bhagavata. So what happened? Both Devaki and Vasudeva fell at the feet of Lord Krishna. Now in which case do parents do namaskaram to the child? Nowhere is it said. The very fact that parents have done namaskaram to the child means that it is not their child. So who is to decide whether a child belongs to them or not? The parents. The mother knows it, the father knows it. The mother definitely knows it. If she is doing namaskara to Lord Krishna, that means Krishna was not born into this. So when the parents themselves are saying this child is not born to us, why are you people fighting? Right? So look at the way he has overcome such a unique, in a very unique way, he tries to connect our daily lives to Shastras. Now the same thing can be argued in many other ways by quoting the Purusha Sukta. They can quote so many other sources of knowledge. They can quote Dvadasha Stotra itself to prove that God does not have a birth or he does not have a death. So this is his unique, and constantly he is trying to bridge the gap between spirituality and our real life. I think this is a very important lesson for all of us. We should not view, ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ತುಂಬ ಕೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ನಿಮ್ಮ ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ ಲೈಫು ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರೊಫೆಷನಲ್ ಲೈಫನ್ನ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ? Why should we balance? We are not out of balance. We should balance something only when it is not balanced. So there is no question of balance. There is integration. Every life, ನಮ್ಮ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದ ಸಾರನೇ ಅದು, that ನಾವು ಏನೇ ಮಾಡಿದರೂ ಕೂಡ ನಮ್ಮ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಏನು ಹೇಳುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಸ್ಪಿರಿಚುವಲ್ಲೇ, ಅದು ಆಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಆಕ್ಟಿವಿಟಿನೇ ಅದು. ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಲೌಕಿಕ ವೈದಿಕ ನಾವು ಬೇರೆ ಬೇರೆ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಾಗಿಲ್ಲ. ಪ್ರತಿ ಪರಿ ಕೆಲಸವೂ ನಿನ್ನ ಮಹಾಪೂಜೆ ಅಂತ ದಾಸರಾಯರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ವಿ ಡೂ ಇಸ್ ಗಾಡ್ಸ್ ಪೂಜಾ. ಸೊ ವೈ ಶುಡ್ ವಿ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್? ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್. ಲೆಟ್ ಅದರ್ಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್. ವಿ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸಿಂಗ್ ಎನಿಥಿಂಗ್. ಫಾರ್ ಅಸ್, getting up in the morning and saying that whatever I do today is a service to you. Naham karta, hari karta, tat puja, karma chakilam. Whatever I do today, let it be your puja. And at the end of the day, what do? We say, whatever I have done is something which I am offering it to you. That is over. That means the whole work has become, it's become spiritual. We might have done anything. We might have been writing a software program, a doctor might be performing a surgery, somebody might be going to an office, a housewife may be cooking for her home, a child might be going to school. Doesn't matter. All those things don't matter. Everything becomes Hari Puja. So therefore, this thing is something that is very unique in the way Sri Vadirajateertha actually then brings everything it together. Second lesson I have learned is that he is, his choice of words is very rare. Rarest of the rare ways in which something is expressed. I was reading the Devarnamas. He says ಭಕುತ ಜನ ಮುಂದೆ ನೀ ಅವರ ಹಿಂದೆ. Who will say like this? Nobody will accept it. No, God has to be in the front. No, God has to be behind us. Because we always have the greatest fear about what is coming behind. Let us say you are walking somewhere. What are you more afraid of? A vehicle coming from the front or a vehicle coming from the back? What is more dangerous? Vehicle coming from the back. So we always need protection. By God being behind us, we know that we have a fallback option, that we can fall and nothing will happen to us because He is there. So His choice of words is really, really, similarly when He described the Chandrodaya in Rukmini Shavijaya, you can talk about Chandrodaya in many ways. But what does He say? He says it is Ashtami. So Ashtami, the moon is half. So He could have said the moon is half. Everybody knows. Ashtami, moon is half. He could have said the moon is half. He doesn't say that. He says the moon thought today that what is the point? Now Krishna has come. Who will look at my face? So whether I come in full or half doesn't make any difference. I will come only in half. It is His way of protesting. What a unique and humorous way of presenting. ಇಲ್ಲಾರೊಂದು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಪಾಠದಲ್ಲಿ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಂಡು ಎಲ್ಲರೂ ಬ್ರಹ್ಮಸೂತ್ರಾದಿಗಳ ವಿಚಾರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ನಗ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ವಾದರಾಜ ತೀರ್ಥರದ್ದು ಒಂದು ಯಾವುದೋ ಒಂದು ವಾಕ್ಯ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಅದು ಮಿಸ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ ಅಂತ ಅದು ಸ್ಪಷ್ಟ ಗೊತ್ತಾಗುತ್ತೆ. If somebody can make you smile and somebody can make you laugh, it is only Sri Vadirajateertha who can do it in a most difficult and more unexpected manner. He does this. Though he is presenting in such a beautiful way. Somebody was asking me some time back, about a year back, sir, you speak in English, why don't you translate Rukmini Shavijaya in English? I said it is not possible. He said, okay, can you try after some time? I said after some time also it is not possible. Then he said, okay, can you try, so ಈ ಜನ್ಮದಲ್ಲೇ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ? ನಾ ಈ ಜನ್ಮದಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವ ಜನ್ಮದಲ್ಲೂ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದೆ. It's beautiful. There is no way anybody can, and only one person can translate Rukmini Shavijaya in English. That is Sri Vadirajateertha himself. So if he decides, then it is possible. But despite this fact that he is speaking in such an interesting way, whatever he says is very firmly grounded in philosophy. ಇದು ಯಾಕೆ ಈ ಮಾತು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀನಿ ಅಂದರೆ, when somebody is speaking about shastras in today's world, it becomes very common that people go off at a tangent. ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾ ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಲ್ಲೋ ಹೊರಟೋಗಿರ್ತಾರೆ ಅವರು. ವಾದಿರಾಜರು that is not his style. Every time he says something, how beautifully he anchors it back to a philosophy, and he in fact warns people about how should they select philosophy. ನಾವು ಯಾವ ಫಿಲಾಸಫಿಯನ್ನ ನಾವು ಅವಲಂಬಿಸಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನ ಎಷ್ಟು ಬ್ಯೂಟಿಫುಲ್ ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. He says, na snehanam na cha visnehanam. Don't select a form of philosophy because you like something. We are all Madhvas, so we will like Madhwacharya. Somebody else is born in some other sect, he likes his guru. Like we say Acharya Pavanosmakam, they say Acharya somebody, right? So that is not a big thing. What is important is that you have made a very objective evaluation of the form and school of philosophy that is there. So we have to be objective in the way we are studying shastras. ಯಾರು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಗ್ರಂಥ ಓದಿರ್ತಾರೋ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ಪರಿಚಯ ಆಗಿರುತ್ತೆ. That the people who are writing the shastra keep an arm's distance ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅದನ್ನು. That means they are always looking at it from a distance and evaluating it very objectively. Imagine a doctor, he becomes emotional. What will happen on the surgery table if he becomes emotional? God forbid, right? ಅದು ಬರೀ ಶಸ್ತ್ರ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆ, ಇದು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಚಿಕಿತ್ಸೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀವಿ. So when we are doing that, you've got to be extremely careful about how you do that. And I think that is something that is there, which is very unique in the way he projects. Though he is speaking very emotionally, he keeps a distance and always provides the perfect argumentation. Yukti Mallika is a great example of how to argue and debate. I think all our young people who are here should study the Yukti Mallika at least once in their life. There are many people here who will. So what is unique about Swamiji is, I think amongst the first things that he did was to print and reprint Yukti Mallika with a fresh translation. In a beautifully way he has brought it out. in those volumes. So please, if you don't have it, please procure it and please read it. You will definitely understand under a tutelage of a guru that will become even better for all of you. But that kind of an argumentation is clear. Then, last but one thing is that he has got, Sri Vadirajateertha wants to include everybody. He doesn't want anybody to be left behind. In this, anybody who accepts Hari Sarvottama and Vaijivattama as the central tenets is a Vaishnava. That is his point. And people who don't are not Vaishnavas. So, if anybody, he has to be welcomed. He always makes sure that everybody is welcome. Now, how do you welcome people? People say, no, I don't have time for philosophy. I have a lot of my own problems. I have a problem, I have got chinta, I have got a loan, I don't have education, I don't have money. So what Vadirajateertha has done throughout his life is compose these beautiful shlokas that every shloka andre Vadirajare, any shloka you can see on any topic, on any devata is being composed by Vadirajaru. So he has given us a beautiful template. You have this problem, yes, we acknowledge it is a problem, we have to solve it. So please recite these shlokas and get rid of your problems with that conviction. And this is my last point. What is his last message for all of us? ಅವ್ರ ಕೊನೆಯ ಸಂದೇಶ ಏನು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ರೆ, ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನಾವು ಪಂಚವೃಂದಾವನನ್ನು ನೋಡಿದ್ರೆ we get an idea about what a kind of a life he must have led. How is he seated? He is seated right in the middle. He is surrounded by different forms of God, Dashavataraಗಳು, and there is Hayagriva Devaru inscribed on the main Vrindavana. And all his life, what did he do? He said Hayagriva, Hayagriva, Hayagriva. Right? That is what he chanted all along. And what is in front of him is Vedavyasuru. So he has given us a beautiful message that if you want to, and look at how he is so happy, he is so confident that he entered the Vrindavana Sajiva Vrindavana Pravesha ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾಗಿ ಎಷ್ಟು ಧಾರಾಢ್ಯ ಬೇಕು. But he did it so merrily, so happily that he gave a message in this. If we want to live happily, the only way to do that is when we are protected by God in all directions. And what are we doing? We are doing Hayagriva, Hayagriva. That means we are pursuing the path of knowledge. And how? There is Vedavyasa right in front of us. So one good thing which has happened because of this reconstruction of the temple is that we are all able to see Vedavyasa whom we had not seen before. So I would, all of you should take a picture very fast before that gets closed. But I think we got an opportunity to see Vedavyasa. So let us keep the Vedavyasa in front of us. That means Shastra Grantha should be in front of us. We should have Hayagriva Namaka Paramatma in our heart and pray to Lord Vadiraja and say next time when we come to this Aradhana mahotsava, we would have taken at least one step towards learning the great teachings of Sri Vadirajateertha. So with these words, I conclude a short speech. Thank you so much for listening patiently.
ಅಧ್ಯಾತ್ಮ ಜ್ಞಾನ ಎನ್ನುವಂಥದ್ದು ಮತ್ತು ಶಾಸ್ತ್ರ ಎಲ್ಲವೂ ಕೂಡ ಸಾಮಾನ್ಯ ಜನರಿಗೆ ಬಹಳ ದೂರ ಎಂಬುದಾಗಿ ನಾವೆಲ್ಲರೂ ಕೂಡ ತಿಳ್ಕೊಂಡಿದ್ದೇವೆ. ಆದರೆ ಅದನ್ನು ಸುಂದರ್ ಮಡಕ್ಷಿರವರು ಬಹಳ ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿ ಅದು ಬಹಳ ದೂರ ಅಲ್ಲ, ನಮ್ಮ ಜೀವನದಲ್ಲಿಯೇ ಅದು ಒಂದು ಭಾಗ ಅಂತ ಬಹಳ ಚೆಂದಾಗಿ ಸುಂದರವಾಗಿ ನಿರೂಪಣೆ ಮಾಡಿರತಕ್ಕಂತಹ ಅವರಿಗೆ ಮಠದ ಪರವಾಗಿ ಧನ್ಯವಾದಗಳನ್ನು ಸಮರ್ಪಣೆ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ